Do you have a robot that reminds you of things? In my house, I have an Alexa, and I actually set a reminder to go off twice a day that says, "There are no problems here, only doorways to transformation." Now, what does that mean? That means that a lot of times in life, when something feels like it's a problem because I'm pushing against it with my mind. But this problem can actually be a gift to help me understand what in my life needs to actually change. Because I'm coming against something, I'm rubbing up against something. And in fact, change has been a very, very big theme. It's a big theme in the world right now, a big theme in the United States, a big theme in each one of our hearts and our minds. People are going through big changes. And a lot of times a change can feel like, oh, I don't like this, like it's a problem. But there could actually be a hidden gift within these changes, even changes that feel scary or disrupting or disappointing, or you don't like them, or they call things into question, like, how are we going to survive? What are we gonna do now that, what we were doing before doesn't work? You think about the introduction of a new technology like AI, which is really changing the way that art is made. It's changing so many things. It's creating more tools for creativity, but it's also calling into question a lot of things the way they were done before. We can no longer continue in the same way. Hey, Frank. So my offer to you, my opportunity, what I want to invite you to look at right now is, if there's something happening in your life with these big changes that you don't like, what information is it giving you that maybe you might be ready to take this information and use it to do something different than you would have done before? So, for example, a friend of mine was telling me, she was saying that she's very concerned about how things are going in the United States, and for the first time in her life, she's really starting to question, where does she want to raise her children? Where does she want to take her life? Like, in what direction? Because what she expected and thought is no longer making sense because things are changing. And so the cool thing about this is it gives us the opportunity to start dreaming in a new direction. So maybe, for example, a life in the United States no longer makes deep sense. And so for some people, it might feel better to start looking at other options. Might start branching out and really considering, like, what do I want? Here's an example. When we are programmed with the idea that it is good and right to go to college. So it's like, okay, yes, I'm going to go to college. And how do we choose the college that we go to? Now, for me, I just chose something close to home. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I didn't really want to spend the time. I was young. I didn't know who I was. I hadn't really experienced enough to really understand what it is I want. So now, with the perspective that I had, so I ended up going to New York City and going to art school, a very, very expensive art school. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to be creative, and I kind of had this idea of, like, well, I'm supposed to go to the best school. I'm supposed to do this. And now what I wish I had done is, I wish I had actually said, like, okay, what kind of experience do I want to have waking up and going outside? Do I want to see buildings, or would I rather see mountains and trees and a forest? I wish I had really done that assessment of myself, because I probably would have gone to, I don't know, like a liberal arts college in upstate New York. I don't know. I would have done something different if I had really clarified within myself of what I want. And I had to go have an experience of what I didn't want in order to get that information. So these changes can be very disruptive. They can be very scary. They can call a lot of things into question. And there are no problems here, only doorways to transformation. So how can what's happening now actually contribute to a really meaningful transformation in our lives? And last thing I'll leave you with, as we're going through big changes, how do we take care of ourselves and ground ourselves? So I'm actually making this video as I'm sitting down to do my yoga practice here at my altar, say some prayers, and drop in with my body and move the energy, because also one thing to understand is there's a lot of big energy in the world right now, and a lot of times it gets stuck on us. We can absorb it, and next thing you know, we can carry our own energy that's not even ours. And the anxieties are of other people as other people are going through changes. So how do we keep ourselves stable, calm, and positive, even in the face of all these changes? So I'd love to hear in the comments below, first of all, what changes are you going through in your life right now? Do you feel like you're able to move with these changes and move in a new direction, or does it feel like it's too much? And another question is, what do you do to balance and ground yourself amidst changes? Do you have a morning practice? Do you see any areas of your life where if you were to change this thing, this might actually really positively benefit you? So just a few things to think about, and I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and just remember, breathe. Breathe and come back to center again and again and again. And as many times as you have to do that, that's enough. All right. I love you guys. Bye.